Define spiritual.
It's unfortunate, that there are a lot of words like that are used today in nonchalant ways. Right? Spiritual has become, all kinds of notions and ideas about spirituality. Spiritual is a very simple thing. If you turn inward, you become spiritual. If you want to know yourself and you turn on this one, you're a spiritual person. The search outside of yourself is not a spiritual search. That's a search for meaning, right? I don't know, and I have to have some meaning in my life, so I'll search out there for some meaning. Spiritual is turning inward. Who is this? That's the spiritual. That's what spirituality is. That's what it always has been. It was turned into something else, for many years. And now, you can't even say the word spiritual without religion being on the other side of it, right? But religion has nothing to do with spirituality, right? Spirituality is your own inward search for truth. And truth is not a debate about beliefs. It's what's there when all the beliefs are gone. That's what truth is. When all the beliefs are dropped, there's truth. Right? It's not a debate about what belief.
If a teacher were to say, I have the answer, I have the truth, that wouldn't be a spiritual teacher then.
No.
Here's my book on Amazon, $14.95. I have the answer. That is not a spiritual teacher.
No. A spiritual teacher doesn't give you answers. A spiritual teacher points you to something to look for yourself. If I, as a teacher, you want that person that you're teaching to look inside them and help them what to look for, where to look for it, how to look for it. But the answer is in you. Anything comes out of my mouth is not the answer. If it is, I'm not a teacher. I'm not a spiritual teacher. It's not school, where I have the answer to a math question, right? Answers are defining. Life cannot be defined. You can't define it as this or that. So if a teacher says, I have the answer, or I have the truth, it's an interesting, there's a quote, I think it's from the Bible, that Jesus said. Now, it's funny because in historical terms, there are very, very few words that they really think that Jesus ever spoke that they know of. But there are a lot of words attributed to him. But one of the things attributed to him are, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Now, if you break that down, right? He didn't say, I can tell you what it is. He said, I am. And what is I am? Right? You could say that about yourself. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Right? It's not Jesus. Right? Life is the way, the truth, and the life. The truth is life. Right? So to say I know the answer to it is a falsehood, because there's no answer to that. It just is what it is. Life is what it is. So I'm a piece of life. You're a piece of life. The floor is a piece of life. The door is a piece of life. The light is a piece of life. Right? It's all a piece of life. So how can I have the answer? It's in everything. Nothing exists if life wasn't here. If life didn't exist, none of this would exist. So, and if you try to define life, good luck. Because every time you try to define it, there's something outside of that. Right? It's this, and what's outside of it? Oh, let's expand. Oh, what's outside of it? It's like with space, You say, what's outside the universe? Oh, all there is the universe. Well, what's outside of that? You know, you can't define something like that. And we try to come up with all these human ways of trying to define it. The only way is to experience it directly. If you experience it directly, the answer stops. I mean, the question stops, because you don't look for the answer anymore. Because if you experience it, you're like, oh, well, there's no need to ask that question anymore. But no one can say, I have the truth.
The Vedic rishis 7,000 years ago were writing in their texts about the power of I am. We know it as Sanskrit as Soham, and I know that there is in the last maybe 20 years or so, a lot of teachers who have written about the power of I am. There are a number of books written about I am, and I think it's very interesting to understand. It's almost like the key to spirituality, in my understanding, is the power of I am. Everything is experienced, as you said, within one. But where? In the heart, in the head, in the mind? So when you talk about it's all happening inside, where's it happening? Is it in my imagination?
Where's what happening? Your experience?
Yes.
So, if all of the experiences you've ever had, right, they still exist in the energy. They still exist. Where in your body are you feeling it? Right? You know when you have a certain experience, it feels like your heart is tugging, or it feels like you have a gut experience. So you have reactions in your physical body to experiences, right? Because certain parts of the body are in tune with certain energies, right? So if a certain energy comes, you'll experience it in a different part of your body, because that's where that energy resonates with. So you'll have that direct experience physically as well. When you're in fear, right, you have an experience in your body. When you're happy, you have an experience in your body. When you have a gut feeling about something, you have an experience in a certain place in your body. So definitely the energies in your body can react to the experiences that you're having, for sure. So the experiences in your body happen all over. All over. And it's good to pay attention to where they're happening. You know, we know when we watch somebody get angry, it always is up here, right? It's always coming out of here. So I teach my Tai Chi students, I said, if you feel anger coming on, bring your energy down. Drop your energy down into your dantian, down here. You can't get angry. If your energy is here, you can't get angry. You try it. You can't.
What happens? You can't.
You relax.
You relax.
Because your chi goes down to here. I mean, your chi is down here. I defy you to get. You cannot get angry. You can only be angry when your chi rises up. When you bring it down like this, you can't. Try it.
I'll try that next
You
time.
try it.
Next time I'm on the road and somebody cuts me off. What is the difference between spirituality and religion? And I think you touched a little bit in the beginning of the segment, but can you go deeper into the difference between religion and spirituality? And also, are there any overlaps? Does religion and spirituality come together? Are they completely two different things?
Spirituality, like I said, is turning inward. Religion seems to be turning people outward, outside of themselves for the answers. Right? If you look to here, this has all the answers. If you just believe in this, you're going to be okay. You'll be taken care of. Spirituality turns you in. Now, as far as I grew up a Catholic, and the things I remember from what I was taught, Jesus saying that the kingdom of God is within.
Yeah.
He didn't say it's out there somewhere. He said it's within, right? And then they attribute all kinds of other things like, oh, my Father in heaven. Jesus never mentioned the word heaven. So it was always about this, turning inward, right? The kingdom of God is here. And words, we can't get caught up in words. Jesus never used the word God, you know, because they didn't speak English to begin with. So it's a completely different word and a different meaning, okay? Someone even today, you know, in the Indian, Native American Indian, they call it the Great Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of names because we have to put some kind of a name on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they call it the Great Spirit. But what's the Great Spirit? They're not going to tell you it's a man,
Mm-hmm.
right? They talk about the land,
Mm-hmm.
the life in the buffalo and the land, right, is the Great Spirit. If it's in the land, if it's in the buffalo, certainly it's in here,
Yes.
right? So if you want to know it, if you want to know that, what's the closest one? This is the closest one.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the difference religion is getting you to go out there to believe in something, and spirituality is turning in here to know yourself and know the truth of life, because it's here.
Mm-hmm.
Religion in itself. My mother was a very devoted Catholic. It's something that I admired
Mm.
because she was devoted to it.
Mm.
She had an absolute devotion to it. And in her devotion to it, she was a good person
Mm-hmm.
in her devotion to it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. That's okay. That's okay. As long as it doesn't put you up against the other person
Mm-hmm.
that has a devotion to something else.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going together, that's okay.
Mhm.
If you're going like this, not so good.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem today is it's going like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're clashing. I remember Master Kim, our Shingon Buddhist priest at the time, gave a lecture, and it was a poignant little story. He said that religions are like donkeys that people are riding, and they're all riding to the same door. But you got to get off the damn donkey to get through the door, right? You got to get off the donkey.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to get you there,
Mm-hmm.
but then you have to drop the donkey if you want to get through the door,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't need religion to get to this one.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to turn in and pay attention to it.
Religion, for me, has often been, as you said, something out there. But some parts of religion, some of the teachers can be very helpful, pointing back in a spiritual sense to find that kingdom within. But I find that few and far between, in my experience.
Same here.